What is going on, everybody? WeedleTwineedle here, and we are back again with some more VGC 2018 battling content. Unfortunately, this is going to be the last VGC 2018 video because the 2019 rule set is now on BattleSpot by the time this video comes out, and so this is going to be the last VGC 2018 video. So say goodbye to Z-Moves and Mega Stones for now, in exchange for broken legendaries. Hooray! Speaking of broken legendaries, I know you guys see that Landorus-T on my team. It's because Landorus-T is my new boyfriend. I'm sorry guys, I couldn't resist him anymore. Now the person who drew this fan art is no other than DZ, and this person just kind of drew it out of the blue and like tagged me in Discord and was like, look what I drew. And they're also drawing me more things in the future free of charge as well, so the least I can do is plug their Tumblr and DeviantArt. So if you guys want to see more of this person's work, I'll leave a link to their Tumblr and DeviantArt in the description. I recommend you guys check them out because they're really cool and they're very, very talented, and I can never draw like this in my life. And let's hop into this battle against Marcus. Now Marcus is a Twitch streamer who is a very good friend of mine, and he's like one of the nicest and kindest people on the Pokemon Twitch community, and he does viewer VGC battles and like BattleSpot streams, and he's actually hosting a VGC 2019 free to join tournament. So I recommend you guys check out Marcus's Twitch channel. I'm like subscribed to Marcus on Twitch, and like I don't subscribe to many people on Twitch, so Marcus is a pretty cool dude and deserves more support, so definitely give him a follow on Twitch. And if you're interested in joining the VGC 2019 tournament, there's going to be more information on his Twitch channel for that if you are interested in that kind of thing. So we are having a best of 3 versus Marcus, which means we play 3 games, and whoever wins like 2 out of 3 wins the format or wins the set. So yeah, it's just the thing that helps you practice for actual VGC tournaments, because most of the battles you do in VGC tournaments are a best of 3. So turn 1, he fakes out with his Hariyama to hit my Landorus-T and flinch me. I go for the swagger into my Landorus-T, which may seem weird for Megaments to do that because Megaments normally just clicks double edge, but that would be way too easy. You guys know when I use Triad Pokemon, there's always a twist to it. So I swagger, give my Landorus-T +2 attack, and consume the Person Berry. And Marcus gonna go for the Psychic Z move with his Musharna, and Musharna, oh my god, I've never seen Musharna open his eye like that, and yeah, that kind of scarred me for life when I saw that. Musharna should definitely not open its eye. It loses its peel. So he's gonna go for Z Trick Room, which may seem confusing, like why would you go for Z Trick Room, though there is a reasoning behind that, because Z Trick Room gives you increased accuracy, and Marcus has Hypnosis, so we can actually spam Hypnosis on my team with a speed priority because he has Trick Room up and just put my ass to sleep. So pretty annoying to deal with actually when you think about it, especially since there's no sleep clause in VGC unless you have Morals. So I know Marcus is probably going to go for the Hypnosis targeting into Landorus-Therian form because, you know, it has +2 attack. So I'm going to bring in my own Musharna. We have a nice Musharna mirror match. I'm going to protect myself here to guard myself for the Hypnosis. As Marcus does go for Hypnosis, we're able to guard ourselves from that. And now I thought I had Marcus like beat, because I thought he wouldn't see this coming, but Marcus does read this play. He goes for a Protect with Lele, which you would think is weird, but I do have the After You with my Landorus, or with my Musharna, so I can target Landorus and go for +2 Earthquake and outspeed Marcus in Trick Room, because I do have the Power Lens on my own Musharna, which makes me slower than stuff like Stack Attacka, so that's very nice to have. I'm gonna go for +2 Earthquake, and Musharna is able to eat that because Musharna is a very fat Pokemon, and Musharna is able to put my Landorus-Therian form to sleep. So unfortunately, Musharna was able to block my dreams, and Tapu Lele protecting there was a very nice play on Marcus's behalf. And now Marcus is going to click the Oko button, click the helping hand, as I'm going to go for the win button and click the ally switch. So we're both trying to click our winning buttons here, but ally switch is the better win button here, as Marcus is going to go for the Helping Hand Psychic into my Musharna slot, as we're able to tank that pretty nicely considering it's Tapu Lele, and Landorus-T is going to burn the first mandatory turn of sleep, and I pretty much need to wake up a Landorus-T if I want to have a chance of winning this battle, because Marcus has the pretty big advantage right now. But now Marcus is going to switch out of his Musharna as opposed to going for Hypnosis again and bring in the Hariyama. I just go for Ally Switch again, hoping Marcus wouldn't read me to go for Ally Switch twice in a row, because it's not something I usually do. But yeah, he's going to go for Shadow Ball, predicting me not to go for Ally Switch, hit Landorus-T, so that was a really good ally switch turn, but unfortunately Landorus-T is still snoozing away for a second turn, so that kind of sucks. But that means I might be able to wake up next turn, and Trick Room does expire, so this is really good for my Landorus-T if I can wake up. But I'm going to switch out of my Musharna here and bring in my Solomons just so I can have more offensive pressure on the field, and since Trick Room is expired, I can't really use it anymore. But unfortunately Landorus-T stays sleeping, and Marcus is going to go for Fake Out targeting into Landorus-T and go for Shadow Ball targeting into my Musharna. He might have predicted Protect there, which is why I didn't double target into my Ments, but yeah, he's actually, Yeah, he didn't double target into Landorus, rather, not my Ments. He actually Shadow Ball's trying to kill Musharna. He may have read the ally switch there as well, trying to kill me with Shadow Ball, but I'm gonna go for Fire Blast here into aLayer just to pick a potential sash, and now I'm going to wake up and go for the +2 Earthquake finally. I knew I was gonna wake up that turn because I burned off the 3 mandatory turns of sleep, and it can only sleep for 3 turns max. So +2 Earthquake will knock out Hariyama and Tapu Lele, thankfully, as even though we got slept for the max amount of turns, we're able to survive with Landorus-T due to some mind games with ally switch, and down goes Lele and Hariyama, as now Marcus is going to bring back out his Musharna and reveal his last, which is going to be the Mega Camerupt. But at this point, Musharna is in range of Earthquake, and Camerupt will definitely die to +2 Earthquake. So here, I'm going to switch out of my Ments for no reason and bring in my Musharna, knowing that he won't go for Protect because there's no reason to, and he's going to Mega Evolve with his Mega Camerupt for no reason, just to do it, and he gives me information he's Mega Camerupt. Oh, I didn't see that one coming. But yeah, I'm going to go for the Explosion because my Landorus-T has Explosion. Now normally you'd like to keep this kind of information hidden so they know this, or they don't have this information in the future battle. Since in a best of 3 you have to battle your opponent more than once, so you want to keep as much information hidden as possible. But since it's my friend Marcus, I don't really care, so I just went for Explosion to knock out everything on the field, as down goes Camerupt and Musharna, and the fair and balanced Landorus-T is able to win us the first battle against Marcus. But since this is a best of 3, there is more than one battle against Marcus, so we're going to go into game 2. And the funny thing about game 2 is that we are packing the exact same leads.
Haha, nice voice crack. I'm gonna remind him by leaving a comment.
Which is really funny to me because you normally in a best of 3 you want to switch it up and try, fool your opponent. And me and Marcus were like, there's no way he's going to expect me to lead off with the same stuff. But we led off with the same Pokemon, Landorus Ments. He ends off with Hariyama and Musharna again, so it's literally the exact same lead, which I found absolutely hilarious. Well, I guess it's not the exact same lead because Hariyama and Musharna are now in the opposite slots, but yeah, it's the same lead, so lead. So we get the double Intimidate and lower the Hariyama's attack to pretty much to the point where it can't even damage me. And I'm gonna go for the exact same turn 1 because that's pretty much what the strategy revolves around. Swaggering with my Ments, I'm going for a different move with Landorus-T, which some of you may see coming just because of the title, or like maybe I didn't spoil it in the title. I might spoil it in the title this time around, we'll see. But Ments gonna get flinched, gonna go for the roleplay into the Ments slot so I can roleplay and get the Aerialate. So that Explosion that I used in the first game is going to become Stab and 20% more powerful, so that is very scary to even think about. Marcus is going to go for the Psychic Z move yet again and go for Z Trick to increase his accuracy and Scars for life with the Musharna Eyeball. And now I gotta be very wary of the Hypnosis because I could sleep for 3 turns again, and that could be very frustrating. Though this time around, I'm gonna make a series of different plays because Marcus has information about my sets, so I'm gonna play a little bit differently knowing he has this information. So Marcus going to switch into his Tapu Lele here just to punish me if I decide to attack into the Hariyama slot with Ments, but instead I'm going to switch out of my Ments again and bring in my Musharna to try to outspeed him in Trick Room. And since Marcus knows I'm going to do that, instead of protecting with my Landorus-T, I actually attack this turn, knowing he's going to go for Hypnosis, and I also know that both Hariyama and Musharna probably don't carry Protect. So here, I just click Explosion. Now keep in mind, this is Stab and 300 base power thanks to Aerialate, and Musharna is going to be immune to it thanks to Telepathy, but his Musharna gets one-shot by Explosion. Now keep in mind, a +2 Earthquake couldn't even one-shot Musharna, but a Stab Aerialate Explosion can. And if that doesn't showcase how strong Landorus-T Stab Explosion is, I don't know what does, man. I have no idea what does. It actually outdamaged a +2 Earthquake, which just kind of blows my mind, honestly, pun intended. He's going to bring in Araquanid and Hariyama here, as I'm going to reveal I have Chatot, which may kind of confuse you, like why is Chatot on this team? But it's because I based the strategy around Chatot first, the roleplay into Aerialate, but I realized Landorus-T gets roleplay as well, so I'm like, hey, I'll use Landorus-T as well, and trigger my fan base who hate when I use Triad Pokemon. But there's a few people out there who like seeing me use strong Pokemon, so this is for you guys. But yeah, Marcus is going to go for Bug Bite into Musharna just to see if I have the berry, but I do not. I have Power Lens, so I underslow stuff in Trick Room like Sack Attack and stuff. I haven't been able to use it all that much, but I figured it was nice to have on this team anyway for when I do face Trick Room, and conveniently, Marcus likes to use Trick Room a lot, so it's not really too surprising to see it actually do work. But since Musharna is asleep, I can't really do much with it, so I'm going to switch into Ments here. I'm trying to stall a Trick Room. It's my best play, as here I actually get really lucky and dodge the Rock Slide with my Chatot. And this is really important because we're able to keep our Focus Sash intact, which is very important considering I'm facing 2 pretty scary threatening Pokemon. And here, I wanted to roleplay my freaking Mensa's aerially with my Chatot. But unfortunately, I clicked Nasty Plot as opposed to clicking Roleplay. Now, this was my fault because I knew what I wanted to do, but I clicked Nasty Plot instead, forgetting I was going to bring in Mens. So I'm like, wait, I'm bad. And then when I sent out Mensa, I'm like, wait, I didn't Roleplay, and then the turn ended, so I couldn't cancel it. So oopsies, but it's not a big deal. I Nasty Plot, get +2 special attacks. So that means my Boom Burst is still going to hurt a lot regardless. But Rock Slide will be able to knock out my Mens as I protect my Chatot to stall out the last turn of Trick Room. And down goes the Mega Solomons, unfortunately. But now Trick Room is expired, so I will be able to just spam Boom Burst here with my Chatot. The Trick Room does go away. It's now going to bring in my Musharna here, which is my last Pokemon. It's currently 2v2. I'm just going to wake up, thankfully, go for the ally switch, so if he targets into my Chatot with Liquidation, we're going to be able to switch positions, and I'm going to go for the +2 Boom Burst. I know this won't knock out Araquanid because I didn't roleplay the Aerialate, but this should knock out Hariyama because, like, this is stab Boom Burst at +2. So down goes the Hariyama. Musharna is immune to it thanks to Telepathy, and Marcus actually goes for Mirror Coat, which gets around the ally switch, which is something I didn't even predict or realize. So because we dodged the Rock Slide from Hariyama, we live with our Focus Sash, and that is the only reason why we were able to win this battle, because if we got hit by that Rock Slide, I would have been dead right now, and then Musharna has no attacking moves. On this side, I do change the set later on because I realized no attacking move Musharna is kind of useless, but here I reveal I have Imprisoned with Protect just because I wanted to showcase what the strategy was to Marcus, where I use Roleplay Aerialate Explosion with Imprisoned Protect so they can't protect themselves. If they have Detect though, well played, man, but like there's like 3 Pokemon that run Detect in the format, like Kartana does, I think, but other than that, I don't think much runs Detect. But down goes Araquanid to the Boom Burst, and we're going to defeat Marcus in the best of 3 because I got pretty damn lucky, but it was still a good game to Marcus. Check out his Twitch channel, please, guys. I really recommend you guys check him out and give him a follow for me. But let's move on to the actual Battle Spot battle. Okay, so my first Battle Spot opponent today, Lorenzo, is packing a very stacked looking team with Landorus-Therian form, Bisharp, Mega Blaziken, and Tapu Koko. So a very offensively based team. This time around, I'm packing fucking Unpheasant. So like, I bet you guys have never seen Unpheasant in a battle, let alone VGC. So you guys are gonna be in for a treat with this Unpheasant strategy, which I kind of came up with like last minute, but like, hey, we're using it anyways because WeedleTwineedle is not afraid to use some autism. So my opponent's gonna lead off with the Bisharp and the Landorus-T. So Shiny Landorus leads off, and Shiny Bisharp, both legitimate shinies. He's going to intimidate both Unpheasant and Tauros, which kind of sucks because they're both physical attackers, and unless I have Ice Beam on Tauros, which spoilers, I do not, I can't really touch Landorus-T in this situation. So I'm going to protect my Tauros turn 1, as I'm going to go for my Z move here with my Unpheasant. I'm kind of surprised to see I outspeed both Landorus-T and Bisharp with my Unpheasant. I guess I underestimated Unpheasant's base speed, but yeah, we're going to go for the Z Tailwind here, which increases our crit rate on Unpheasant, and we also have the Super Luck ability, so we pretty much get guaranteed crits with the Unpheasant. My opponent's gonna go for Earth Power targeting into Tauros, and go for Knockoff targeting into Unpheasant, just trying to kill me off, but thanks to our Z Crystal, we're able to tank that reasonably well. Now I'm going to Quick Attack my own Tauros, do a big chunk of damage, a lot more than I was expecting, but Unpheasant's attack stat is nothing to underestimate. And now my opponent's going to predict me to attack with my Tauros, goes for Sucker Punch, very nice play. But now I'm going to go for Rock Slide, as we're going to miss the Bisharp, unfortunately, but we're able to connect against Landorus-T and just Oko Landorus thick. So I guess that Rock Slide miss was some revenge for when I dodged Rock Slide with my Chatot, but hey, it's not the end of the world. We only have 1 hit left with Tauros because of Life Orb, so I gotta watch for that. In comes Tapu Koko, and I'm expecting Tapu Koko to want to go for Protect and Bisharp to go for Sucker Punch against my Tauros here, so I'm actually going to go for Protect here with my Tauros for good reasons, because I still have the crit amplifier on my Unpheasant, so Bisharp's going to try and Sucker Punch my Tauros. I just want to go for the guaranteed crit return against Tapu Koko. Ignores Intimidate drops, and we just one-shot Tapu Koko with freaking return, so that was beautiful. Down goes the Tapu Koko to Unpheasant of all things. And now in comes the Blaziken, and Blaziken's a huge threat, but I'm expecting Blaziken to want to go for Protect, if anything, because the Z Tailwind is still active and he kind of wants that speed boost and stuff, because Mega Blaziken with the speed boost is very nice, and letting it just get attacked this turn would be kind of a waste. So I'm expecting my opponent to want to go for Protect. I go for Double Protect here, expecting Bisharp to want to go for Sucker Punch again. I felt like this was very obvious, but like I didn't feel like I had a choice, because there was a reason why I did this, because my Unpheasant has the Psych Up, because the idea behind this strategy, which kind of actually doesn't work, is you're supposed to Psych Up the Anger Point boost, and then go for crit +6 quick attacks. But unfortunately, I find out in this battle when Z Talon wears off, so does your increased crit rate. So this quick attack does not crit, but it's still at +6 attack with, you know, base 115 attack. So down goes Blaziken, and we're gonna go get hit by Sucker Punch, but that's fine because we already got the +6 attack transferred to my Unpheasant. and now I'm able to bring in my last, which is Musharna. And Musharna is it's actually not my last, it's my second last. I have Landorus-T on this team as well, but I didn't even have to send it out this battle because Musharna's going to come and click that win button. My opponent knows that I have Quick Attack, so he's probably not going to Sucker Punch me. I just go for Quick Attack. He's just going to try and knock me out with Iron Head, but the win button does win us out in the end. And from here, we can just go for Quick Attack again and just knock out the Bisharp. And yeah, that's going to be the end of the battle. We're able to clutch this battle out thanks to the Unpheasant. So yeah, shoutouts to Unpheasant. Good game to Lorenzo. Let's move on to the next battle. Okay, my third opponent today actually has a very funny team. It's not the most competitive in the world, but it's still pretty funny. She's packing Tyranitar with Triple Furry and Incineroar, Lycanroc, and Lucario with no ground resistance with 4 ground weak. So Landorus-T in this battle is going to be pretty solid in my personal opinion. So of course, we're going to lead off with the Try Hard specialty with Landorus-T and Mega Mence. Not really for the roleplay area late combo, more so for the Earthquake spam and Double Intimidate, because my team is really weak to Rock Slide in general, so like I kind of want the Double Intimidate to lower the Lycanroc Elite's Rock Slide damage, just because Lycanroc can kind of destroy me if I don't play correctly. So we're going to lead off with Landorus and Mence and go for the Double Intimidate on the Tyranitar and the Lycanroc. This is my best play by far. No reason not to do that. And Tyranitar is going to set up the Sand as well, so that means Lycanroc will be able to outspeed us thanks to Sand Rush, so I'm pretty sure it outspeeds both of our Pokemon anyways, just because Lycanroc is rather fast, so I don't think the Sand really matters, but my opponent's going to switch out a Lycanroc turn 1, realizing Double Intimidate means it's going to do 0 damage, brings in the Lucario, and my opponent's going to double switch here, even though I could have went for Earthquake. This is my favorite part. I could have just went for Earthquake here and killed both of these Mons, but instead, she brings in Incineroar and Lucario, even though I could have clicked Earthquake, which I don't this turn actually. I try to make some like flex plays just to do it, so I go for Tailwind here just to get my speed increased, and I go for the roleplay into Lycanroc trying to get Sand Rush so we can outspeed everything, but unfortunately, she brings in Lucario, and we're able to roleplay Inner Focus, which doesn't really do me all that much. Unless my opponent tries to fake me out this turn, it's not going to be doing all that much for me, unfortunately, but it's not the end of the world. Now I'm going to Mega Evolve my Mega Salamence, hoping that I can, like, make my opponent be afraid of it. Because, like, Mega Salamence is very intimidating to face against. Like, no pun intended, because, you know, having Intimidate before Mega Evolves. But, yeah, Mega Lucario is also going to Mega Evolve, which is kind of scary. And I'm expecting the Lucario and the Incineroar or one of the other carry Protect, so they don't get killed by Earthquake here, and so I can stall out my Tailwind. So, here, my opponent just tried to go for Fake Out into Landorus-T, which I have Inner Focus, so it's not going to work. I go for Swagger into my Landorus-T just because I got Intimidated, so I want to get my attack stat back up in the +1 stage. We're going to get confused, but we do have that Person Barrier to consume that shit and get rid of the confusion. Here I'm going to go for Roleplay into Lucario, expecting to go for Protect, but he doesn't go for Protect. We're going to Roleplay the Adaptability, giving us, you know, freaking Super Stab Earthquakes. And my opponent goes for Ice Punch into Mence, even though his team, or her team, is freaking weak to rock, or weak to ground completely. It's more weak to ground than mine is weak to rock, which is saying a lot actually, but hey, I'm not complaining. In comes Musharna here, and I can go for some ally switches and stuff to get around the fact that my opponent can just fuck me with Ice Punch. My opponent here reveals she has Protect on Lucario and Protect on Incineroar, so I'm like, I've never seen a fake out Protect Incineroar in my life, but here we are, facing one. This person was under 1500 on the battle spot ladder, so it definitely makes sense why she has sort of weird sets, but like, hey, I'm not complaining. I'm not one to talk people. I have weird sets as well, so I'm gonna go for Imprison here just to protect myself from Protect later on. My opponent decided to go for Double Protect that turn, so it's like, oh, I guess I was a little too late there, but now it means she can't go for Double Protect or anything like that, so I'm gonna go for Earthquake here to just knock out both Lucario and Incineroar, because Tailwind's up, I can just kill everything on the field. So yeah, +1 definitely Earthquake's going to overkill Lucario and Incineroar, as down goes Lucario and Incineroar pretty comfortably, and they're not going to be taking an Earthquake, even if they're like max defense or some shit like that. So down goes this Pokemon. I go for After You for no reason at all, just to go for it really, because I had nothing else to do that turn. I didn't have Helping Hand. I do have Helping Hand later on in this video, but this battle I do not have Helping Hand. I still have the Imprison Protect combo, which eventually I do change up, but I don't know which battle I do. But in comes Lycanroc and Tyranitar again. I'm going to click that win button here, expecting my opponent to want to go for like Ice Beam or something into my Landorus slot, and go for Rock Slide with the Lycanroc. So gonna go for Rock Slide here. I'm really hoping we don't get flinched here by Rock Slide, as unfortunately we do, because that is what Rock Slide's known for. And now my opponent's going to reveal that she's actually a Dark Z move, so I'm hoping she did not target into the Musharna slot this time because I just ally switched, and so if she did target into Musharna, I'm going to die with Landorus-T, but if she targeted it into Landorus-T, Musharna will die, and that's exactly what I want. So my opponent's going to go for Black Hole Eclipse here, and she targets into Musharna, which is absolutely hilarious because Black Hole Eclipse will, knock me out, which is fine, but like she was trying to kill Landorus-T, but we end up ally switching into it. So the win button does save our asses again. Sand's going to subside, which means Lycanroc will not be able to outspeed us. Actually, that doesn't change anything at all, to be honest. That just means my sash will stay intact with my Chatot, which is very nice. But now my opponent's going to go for Rock Slide. It does hit both of us, and I'm really, really hoping that she doesn't flinch us, because if she does, it's pretty much game over. So we're going to live with our Focus Sash, thankfully, as thankfully, we did not get flinched by the Rock Slide, so we're able to go for the +1 adaptability boosted Earthquake, and Tyranitar and Lycanroc will just drop to the 6. Lycanroc is Focus Sash, so if Chatot gets flinched here, we can still lose this game due to Rock Slide, flinches and stuff. So down goes Tyranitar. All comes down to if we don't get flinched, as thankfully we do not get flinched, we're going to be able to go for a Stab Boom Burst into Lycanroc and ourselves. And yeah, we're going to knock out our own Landorus-T, which is fine, because that means we're able to knock out a Lycanroc as well. And we're going to win this battle with 1 HP on Chatot. So that was a very close battle. Not the most competitive battle in the world, I know, but I thought it was still close and worth showing. But let's move on to the next battle. Okay, my next opponent's team is actually pretty cool. She's packing a Malamar, which is pretty cool to see. You don't really get to see Malamar be used all that much in VGC. But since my opponent has a Malamar, I'm not dumb enough to bring Double Intimidate as a lead, and plus she has like Tapu Fini and Zapdos boosting HP Ice my ass, so I have to be very cautious about that. So we're going to be challenged by Duraya, or Duria? I don't know how to pronounce her name, but yeah, she's going to lead off with her Malamar and her Furry Wrestler, as I'm not dumb enough to lead off with Double Intimidate, so I'm only going to lead off with my Ments. So we're going to give the Malamar +1 attack still, which is kind of scary to deal with, but it's better than +2 attack, so hey, I'm not complaining. So we're going to Intimidate, give Malamar +1 attack, and lower the Incineroar's attack, which is very nice. And we're going to lay off with our Chatot, because we're going to try to roleplay that, Aerialate and go from there. But yeah, Malamar is going to lead off, and I'm pretty sure Incineroar is going to try to fake out my Ments, because Mega Ments is always the bigger threat than Chatot. People are like, oh shit, Ments is a bigger threat than Chatot, so we always go for Ments. I love it very much because Mega Ments is a big threat, but not on this set. This set is mainly support, so it can't really do all that much damage. My opponent's going to try and fake out my Ments as, it flinches me, but now I'm going to roleplay and get the Aerialate. So I'm really hoping this is the battle where Aerialate Chatot can pop off, but I saw Zapdos in the back, so I'm like, yeah, maybe not, but hey, we'll see what we can do. Knockoff's going to do not too much damage to Mega Ments because Mega Ments' defense stat is really high. Here I tried to go for Swagger on Malamar to lower his attack stat, which it did not work because we missed, but if we managed to give it -2 attack, that would have been so clutch. But thankfully, my opponent goes for knockoff into the Ments again, as he's just going to go for Bulldoze, which is really cool because he's going to Bulldoze his own Malamar, which is going to give him increased speed. So this was a really cool play on my opponent's part. I'm not even going to lie, I was kind of impressed by that. I love when opponents carry like really cool techs like that, because that means like they're not afraid to try out some weird stuff, and I can just respect that. So we're going to protect ourselves here, as my opponent finally realizes the bigger threat is Chatot's. Thankfully, we get the right protect speed, and are able to go for Tailwind to, correct the speed difference. My opponent does knock off my Ments here, and that will not knock me out thanks to the Intimidate. And here I'm going to go for Hydro Pump, targeting into Incineroar, trying to weaken this thing, as it doesn't do all that much damage, telling me he's probably Assault Vested. But now I'm going to go for the Aerialate boosted Stab, Boomburst, and yeah, that's going to kill everything on the field. So down goes Ments, and down goes Malamar, and down goes Incineroar. But hey, I'm so glad Chatot managed to do all that, so good job, Chatot. Not bad, not bad. Now I'm gonna bring in Musharna here. I probably should have put like redirection on this team with like Clefairy, but I use Clefairy in like every VGC battle, so I felt like I shouldn't put Clefairy on this team. So he's gonna bring in Fini and the Zapdos, and he's gonna activate Pressure. And I can't really do much with Aerialate Boom Burst this turn because, Zapdos resists it, and Fini has a really big Spidef, so he's going to activate the Misty Seed as well to make his Spidef even higher. So my Chatot is not in a good position right now. I'm just going to click that win button here because no reason not to. I'll click it every time with my Musharna. I'm going to go for the Boom Burst here, as we're going to be immune to it thanks to Telepathy. I'm just fishing for damage here, see how much we can do to the Fini at the very least, as Fini takes so much damage. Oh my god, but it lives. He's going to eat his freaking berry and get all of that health back, but he's still 2 KO'd by Boom Burst, and that's what matters. My opponent's gonna go for Thunderbolt, targeting into the Musharna thanks to Ally Switch. Ally Switch is the reason why I'm gonna be able to win like half of these games, may I add. My opponent's gonna go for Muddy Water here, and that will be able to weaken my Musharna and break my Sash, so that kind of sucks. But here, my opponent's gonna protect the Fini, which is very smart. and this time around, I'm going to just protect my Musharna, hope my opponent predicts me to ally switch again, because that would be very nice. Just gonna go for Boom Burst here, trying to target into the Zapdos and knock him out and kill the Feeny. But hopefully we can knock out the Zapdos, but unfortunately the Misty Seed means he's going to be able to live, which is unfortunate. My opponent tries to Thunderbolt, reading the ally switch, so we're able to get that prediction correctly. Ally switch is a 50-50. Sometimes you have to go for it and hope your opponent reads into it. Sometimes you just try to go for it and hope your opponent doesn't read into it. So it's kind of weird how ally switch makes you play. But here I'm going to go for a Boom Burst here. It's kind of annoying to play against too, because you have no idea if your opponent's going to go for it or not. But the Boom Burst will be able to knock out Zapdos and Feeny. And we're going to be able to kind of smash my opponent with Aerialate Chatot, all thanks to ally switch. Ally switch, best move in the game. But yeah, we're able to defeat Doraya, and let's move on to the next battle. Okay, so my next opponent, Horny Papa, quite an interesting name you got there, buddy, is packing a Trick Room based team, kind of similar to Marcus's, but a little bit different because he's packing Mimilax, which is a pretty common core that I've seen it on the Battle Spot ladder in VGC 2018 when the format was still around, but now we're in VGC 2019 with broken legendaries. But I already complained about that earlier on. No need to complain about that format in this video. So I'm gonna lead off with my Chatot and my Mens just to intimidate and have my opponent target into the Mens as opposed to targeting into Chatot, because when people see Mega Mens, they're like, that is a bigger threat than the Chatot for sure, just because Chatot is a cute little burb and then Mega Mens is a big ass croissant dragon. So they're gonna target down that big ass croissant dragon over the cute burb because, like, yeah, that's just what they do. So Mega Mens gonna lead off and Mega Evolve just to be more intimidating. That's half the reason why I Mega Evolve, honestly. The other half is for the Aerialate ability. I'm gonna go for Fire Blast here, attempt to break this thing's disguise, and I would have used Mega Pinsir instead of Mega Mens on this team, but Mega Pinsir doesn't get Intimidate and it doesn't get like anything useful. So yeah, it doesn't get Tailwind or anything like that. So Mega Mens is a better support mon, even if it is more tryhard. I'm sorry guys. I do use Mega Pinsir later on in this video though, as you'll see. But my opponent's gonna go for Belly Drum here and get its attack stat high up in the air. And it's going to freaking nom 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 on that dumbass berry and get all of its health back. So yes, Snorlax is fair and balanced in the VGC format. My opponent's gonna go for Trick Room here because Mimikyu makes it pretty much impossible to kill it or stop Trick Room thanks to Disguise and Mental Herb, so that's kind of annoying. My opponent's gonna go for Return here, targeting into the Ments like expected, because Ments is always a bigger threat than Chatot is at first glance. Down goes Mega Croissant, and my opponent's gonna go for the Psych Up to get all of those stat boosts and try to automatically win the game with this Mimikyu. Totally understandable. I'm gonna go for Nasty Plot, knowing my opponent's probably gonna go for Psych Up and return into my Solomon's play. As we're able to get that play correctly, is now I'm gonna bring in my Musharna, and this is exactly where the freaking power lens After You comes through, because we're gonna go for After You here, and we have +2 Aerialate Boom Burst, and this damage, guys, just watch this shit. So we're gonna go for the Boom Burst here, and this damage is going to demolish Mimikyu. Snorlax is gonna live because it's Snorlax, and it's probably like max HP with like a lot of Spadef investments. So yeah, it's no wonder it lived that. But return, that's gonna break me down to my Sash. He's gonna crit me as well, just to, you know, overkill me to my Sash. We're able to live thanks to my Focus Sash, and now my opponent's gonna bring in the Mega Camerupt, but we still have the After You in Trick Room, so like it doesn't really matter. Like the After You in Trick Room is so clutch, man, so clutch. It's my only counterplay at Trick Room outside of like taunting, but like as I said earlier, it's really hard to stop Mimikyu from setting up Trick Room just because like Disguise plus Mental Herb. So I'm gonna go for After You again, no reason not to. Mega Camerupt should die to this Boom Burst. Like the Snorlax took way more damage than I thought it would, and so this Mega Camerupt should just die to his +2 Aerialate Stab Boom Burst, as both of them just drop to the Aerialate Stab Boom Burst. It's just so fun to say that. Just think about the base power. It's just, oh! So in comes Oranguru, my opponent's last mon, and it's shiny, of course. Shiny Oranguru reminds me of like yogurt. I don't know why. Maybe just be its color, like strawberry yogurt. I don't know. I'm gonna go for the ally switcher, click that one button, hope my opponent doesn't read into that because they never do on the first ally switch. My opponent's gonna go for Psychic here as we're able to, you know, dodge the damage. And I wasn't sure if +2 stab Aerialate Boom Burst would knock out the Oranguru, so I just wanted to play it safe. Gonna go for the Boom Burst here. And this is the battle where I believe I got rid of Imprison and Protect for Helping Hand and Psychic on my Musharna. But I don't actually remember if that's the case. But yeah, Papa is going to cure the Oranguru's health, but Trick Room wears off, so I'm just going to go for Helping Hand. Yep, I'm going to go for Helping Hand here, and the Helping Hand +2 Aerialate Stab Boom Burst is just going to knock out the freaking Oranguru. And yeah, we're going to pretty much win this battle single-handedly thanks to Chatot and Chatot got some wins in this video, so I'm satisfied with Chatot's performance. Down goes Oranguru, and we're able to defeat my opponent thanks to Chatot and Musharna's after you in the Trick Room. So very clutch moments on Musharna's part, but let's move on to the next battle. Alrighty, my next opponent today, Kiara VGC, is packing a pretty threatening Rain team. So Rain is like my kryptonite, people. I'm always losing to Rain teams, so my team is really weak to ice and water in general, so I don't really know the best way to combat this Rain team. I decided to lead off with my Chatot and Mega Salamence, hoping that I can like bait the Mega Swampert if it leads off a target into my Mega Mens, as opposed to targeting into my Chatot instead, so I will be able to roleplay the aerial because people are naive and target into Mega Mens as opposed to targeting into Chatot. So we lead off with our Chatot and Mega Mens, as my opponent is up with Pelippi and Ferrothorn. So pretty threatening Pokemon to play against here, but Ferrothorn doesn't have that much offensive potential. The best it can really do is Leech Seed, and my Mega Mens does have Fire Blast and Hydro Pump for like steel types that, you know, resist Boom Burst and like Explosion and stuff like that. So that's why I gave my Mens special attacks, because I felt like using like standard boring Mens will be a little too boring for this team, since this team's already pretty boring with using Landorus-T and Mega Mens by themselves, so I figure I would compensate a little bit. So I'm gonna go for Fire Blast turn 1, trying to roast that Ferrothorn alive, but because Rain is up, Ferrothorn's able to tank that really nicely. Going to go for the roleplay into my Mega Mens. I could have potentially roleplayed Swift Swim with Mega Swampert if he let off with that, so that's also why I let off with my Chatot, so I could have like outsped it even with the Rain up. So Hurricane's going to hit my Mens like expected, because they always are fearful of the Mega Mens. Going to double target into my Mega Mens because Chatot is just a non-factor apparently, but Mega Mens is able to live because it's a fair and balanced Pokemon. With Intimidate, it's able to live so many hits, so that's just really annoying to deal with. So my opponent's Ferrothorn's going to protect here because she's fearful of Fire Blast, which makes sense. Here I decided to go for Tailwind because I realized that if Tailwind's up, I'll be able to outpace Mega Swampert anyways, so that's really good for me. I'm going to go for the Nasty Plot here because even if my opponent targets into my Chatot, I have my Sash Attack, and unless he like burns me with Scald, I'll be in the clear. Thankfully, my opponent just goes for Hurricane into the Mega Mens to knock me out because Fire Blast can knock out Ferrothorn, so my opponent felt threatened enough to knock out Mega Mens. So Mega Mens is like acting like a pseudo follow me in this battle, which is really good. It's like Smeargle in my last VGC video, which is hilarious. But now, I'm gonna bring in my Musharna here, and Musharna does carry Helping Hand, so Helping Hand will allow me to like kill everything. But I decided to go for the Ally Switch instead because I'm at +2 and I have like aerially boosted Stab Boom Burst, so like, yeah, I'm gonna go for the Boom Burst here. Slappy is gonna be immune to the Boom Burst, and Boom Burst should be able to knock out both these Pokemon in my face. But Pelipper is carrying the Focus Sash, so it's able to live at 1 HP, which kind of sucks for me, but like down goes Ferrothorn, so I don't have to worry about that thing Leech Seeding me. My opponent's gonna go for Scald, targeting into the Chatot slap, but thanks to Ally Switch, we're able to swap positions, and Ally Switch is such a broken move, people. It's honestly the most broken move in VGC. It's just so... Anyways, in comes Tapu Koko, and the Tailwind is still up, which means I outspeed Tapu Koko. So here I'm going to go for Helping Hand and just try to knock him out with Boom Burst, because that will knock him out at +2 with Aerialate and Helping Hand. But unfortunately, my opponent has Protect on the Tapu Koko, which is really unfortunate, but it's not much I can do about that. My opponent carries Double Protect on his freaking Pelipper instead, so I'm like, wow, okay, I guess he just wants to stall the Tailwind, which totally makes sense. But Boom Burst gonna be guarded by everything, and Telepathy is gonna make me immune to it, so I mean, it's kind of like a wasted turn there, wasted turn of Tailwind, but that's not too big of a deal because now I can just go forward again. If he wants to go for Double Protect, that is fine, because I mean, either way I have the Ally Switch, so it's just a mind game in general. Gonna go for the Boom Burst here. Telepathy makes him immune to it, and Boom Burst will just knock out everything, even though Tapu Koko resists it. Freaking Chatot doesn't give any fucks, so down goes Pelippi and down goes Tapu Koko. And the convenient thing about this turn is that Rain expires the same turn Tailwind expires, so basically my opponent's last, being Megapert, is just gonna lose 1-1 to my Chatot. So my opponent kind of got out-cheesed. Like, Rain could not out-cheese Aerialate Chatot, which I find absolutely hilarious. So Megapert's gonna Mega Evolve here, and I don't have to worry about this thing outspeeding me because Rain is expired. So I'm gonna go for the Boom Burst here without Helping Hand too, just because I want to see if I can knock out Megapert from full health. And just regular Boom Burst at +2 special attack with Aerialate just one-shots Mega Swampert. Down goes Megapert, and we're able to defeat Kiara VGC pretty convincingly thanks to Aerialate Chatot, the GOAT. Man, Chatot's honestly the MVP of this video, but let's move on to the last battle. Alrighty guys, I saved the best for last. So my final opponent today, Nebulicious, has a very fun team. Now keep in mind this is on the free battle spot ladders you can see at the top of the screen, so there is no like rating or like points for whoever wins or loses, so there's no pressure. So my opponent's team is really cool. Superior Hawlucha, Smeargle, Meowstic. I use Togekiss, Tauros, Mega Pinsir, and Incineroar because I figure I may as well use Incineroar one last time. May as well use the top 2 used Pokemon in VGC 2018 for the last video of VGC 2018 just to trigger people who only think I use bad Pokemon. So that's why we're doing that. She leads off with Hawlucha and Superior, as I lead off on my Togekiss and my Tauros for a very similar reason why I used Unpheasant and Tauros together. But as you can see, Hawlucha has Mold Breaker. This is very important. Keep this in the back of your mind, okay? So maybe you'll guess why this is important. But yeah, we're going to protect turn 1, expecting like high jump kick or Leaf Storm as my opponent goes for Tailwind with Hawlucha, so we can see it's like a supportive Hawlucha set. Leaf Blade into my Tauros slot with the Superior, so I know it's physical Superior, which is kind of cool to see. You're usually used to seeing like Contrary Leaf Storm Superior, but this guy's probably packing like an Overgrowth Superior set. But yeah, Togekiss is going to get Cloaked in Z Aura, increase our crit rate by 2 stages while looking very menacing, and go for the Z Tailwind. So we match each other's Tailwinds, but his Pokemon are still way faster than mine, so that's kind of unfortunate for me. But yeah, I'm going to go for the Extreme Speed into my own Tauros, do much less damage than I would have done with Unpheasant, get the Anger Point boost so I can go for Rock Slide. My opponent has the same idea, goes for Hidden Power into his own Superior, and activates his Weakness Policy. So yeah, he's going to activate Weakness Policy, give him +2 attack and special attack, goes for Leaf Blade, and just knocks out my Tauros. So I'm like, damn. I actually just got memed on by Weakness Policy Superior, so I can respect that. So props to my opponent for using Weakness Policy, because Weakness Policy is obviously the best item in the game. My opponent's going to withdraw the Hawlucha, realizing that against Mega Pinsir it doesn't have the best matchup. Going to bring in her Meowstic here, as I'm going to just Mega Evolve my Mega Pinsir, because I have no reason not to. And I'm assuming my opponent's going to be fearful of the Quick Attack and probably Protect with Hawlucha and or Superior. So I'm going to Mega Evolve here with my Mega Pinsir, and Superior does decide to go for Protect to protect himself from all harm, as this is the reason why I had to do this on the free battle spot ladder. So I'm going to mimic my Togekiss, and we're going to mimic and get Extreme Speed. Now I'm going to go for Psych Up into Superior, because I wanted to use Psych Up on my own Tauros to get the +6 attack and then go from there, but unfortunately, you know, my Tauros got bopped. So here I'm going to protect here. I expect my opponent to carry the Fake Out on Meowstic, as thankfully we're able to get that read correctly, and Meowstic does end up carrying Fake Out. He's going to try to return and hurt my Pinsir, but we're able to tank that, and now we're going to go for Baton Pass, past that +2 attack, because I wanted a Baton Pass +6 attack from Angry Point, but hey, what can you do? But now I'm going to bring in Incineroar, guys, and this is where the Mold Breaker comes into play, because Intimidate, as you can see, lowers Meowstic's attack, but raises Superior's attack. Which means Hawlucha was able to nullify Contrary with Mold Breaker and give Weakness Policy +2 as opposed to -2 with Contrary. So this person figured it out before Pimp Knight or I did it, so God bless this person. He goes for Quick Guard to block Extreme Speed, and then returns and does so much damage to my Mega Pinsir. Gonna go for Power Tribute, targeting into Meowstic, bring him down to the Focus Sash, which I didn't think he would have, but here we are. And this is where my opponent's strat goes to like a whole other level. So my opponent reads me to go for Protect, or not go for E-Speed against the Superior, knowing I have Quick Guard. He has Quick Guard, goes for Charm into her own Superior, gets +2 attacks. Now he's at +5 attack, goes for Return, targets into Pinsir as opposed to targeting into Incineroar, probably expecting me to not Protect there, but yeah, I just went for Protect just to play it safe, so I can knock out the Meowstic and get rid of the Quick Guard so I can Extreme Speed Superior. But down goes Meowstic, my opponent has +5 attack with the Superior, in comes Hawlucha again. My opponent's strats don't end here. He has Mold Breaker, which is why he was able to nullify Contrary and give the +2 to Superior with the Weakness Policy as opposed to -2, because normally if you activate Weakness Policy with Contrary you get -2, which I've tried before. I've seen it happen in actually Oras where someone used Weakness Policy Superior and got -2 and then he DC'd on me. That was on Battle Spot though. That was some good shit though. But Flame Charge, Superior's going to protect themselves. He went for Sky Drop to get my Pinsir out of the equation, and Sky Drop doesn't affect Flying type, so he still was able to prevent me from E-Speeding. Goes for +5 return into Incineroar and knocks me out. So down goes my Furry Wrestler. And I'm gonna go for Close Combat because I don't actually carry Return on my Pinsir. I have Sword Stance, Mimic, protect and CC, but close combat just barely doesn't knock out Superior. Is now I'm gonna bring in my Togekiss, and I'm like, it's okay, I can just E-speed this Superior to death. But as you can see, Hawlucha has Ally Switch, so I'm like, no fucking way. So he has Ally Switch on his Hawlucha, which I didn't even know it got. I'm gonna go for Extreme Speed into Hawlucha, as unfortunately it does not carry the Focus Sash, so it actually goes down to the E-Speed, and then Togekiss's E-Speed will be able to knock out Superior from that range. So unfortunately, the raid boss physical Superior goes down to E-Speed, and my opponent's last is the Smeargle, and Smeargle cannot be Focus Sash because there's still item clause on the free Battle Spot ladder. So gonna go for Extreme Speed here and knock out the Smeargle. So that is why I used this on the free Battle Spot ladder, because obviously Mimic Pincers from red and blue, so couldn't quite use it on the rated Battle Spot ladder. But we're going to be able to defeat Nebulicious. As much as I wanted to lose this battle to the physical Superior, unfortunately my opponent kind of had to face like Mimic Extreme Speed Pincers, so didn't have the easiest matchup versus me, but that was still a very good battle against Nebulicious. Nebulicious out-memed me in that battle, so like that's a pretty impressive feat that deserves some praise. So hopefully, like, Nebulicious, if you're watching this video, like, leave a comment or something. Like, we should totally collab sometime or build a team together, because that was like next level bullshit. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this final VGC 2018 video against all these people. I know that final battle wasn't actually VGC 2018, but I felt like I could have posted that in its own video, but I felt like it was a nice reward for anyone who actually had the patience to watch this video till the end. And shout outs to all of you guys who watched this video till the end. If you did watch this video till this point, be sure to leave a comment saying that Nebulicious is better than WeedleTwineedle, because it's true. Nebulicious has surpassed WeedleTwineedle with fucking memes, dude. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this VGC video and really want to support my channel, the like and dislike button are there for a reason. Please use them to how you see fit, because like likes and dislikes help me show like how the video did. If you have any sort of constructive criticism, like stop using your gay voice or anything like that, leave them in the comments below, because I appreciate any of you guys who take the time out of your day to watch my videos and give me any sort of criticism, whether it be positive or negative or constructive. Any criticism is much appreciated, and I really do love reading comments, so anything you guys say, I would love to read. But anyways, we're going to move on to the question of the day, which is going to be, since VGC 2019 is now released, which legendary Uber Pokemon would you guys like to see me build around or use a strat around in the VGC 2019 format? Let me know in the comments down below if you guys want to see me use any specific Uber legendaries, and if you guys see any legendaries in the comments you also want to see me use, leaving a thumbs up or upvote on their comment will help me out when it comes to deciding what I should use for my future teams. But yeah, that's going to be the question of the day. Keep in mind that I cannot use like mythical legendaries like Celebi, Jirachi, Shaman, Manaphy, Darkrai. That shit like that is banned from VGC 2019. That is common knowledge, I would think, to VGC players, but not everyone who watches me plays VGC. So I figured I would just let you know that before you guys start asking me to use like Manaphy in VGC. But that's going to be the question of the day. Thank you guys so much for watching till the end of this long ass video. I'll check you guys next time. Bye.